Salutations, hello, hi, and welcome to Basic Public Speaking. I'm Christy Thomas. I'm your professor instructor for this course, and this is the weekly chat for week 7. Week 7's dates are September the 29th through October the 3rd, and we're rolling into the month of October. Hello, October, and happy Halloween, because that's where I am all of September and October. With that being said, if you recall, during week 5, middle of week 5, towards the end of it, I opened up the lessons for week 6, 7, and 8. These are all the lessons prior to ACTC's fall break. And I opened those up, just make life a little easier on everyone else. But still doing weekly announcements and videos, and getting you prepped for that second main speech, which is due at the end of next week, which is week 8. And that module was also open the same time as all the lesson modules. So week 7's lesson is visual presentational aids for public speaking. The lesson itself really dives into the use of and benefits of presentational or visual aids in public speaking. And then I try to kind of, within the video lesson, narrow it, I don't want to say narrow it down, but really discuss the use of visual aids in electronic mediated communication, and that's EMC. So if you hear me say EMC, that's what I mean. I kind of just use them interchangeably and interchange them anyway. So excuse me, this lesson really discusses like the benefits, how it can help, how it can improve, especially when you're like talking about statistics or imagery. You use pictures and whatnot, or visual aids, how it can really help and impact the speech itself. Now, it also discusses just things to be aware of when it comes to using visual aids, especially when you're in an in-person presentation or public speaking, whatever the case may be here. Use of technology. Really make sure everything, get a scope, get a lay of the land, if you would, to really make sure that your electronic is going to work. How you have it saved. Can you pull it up? Can it be open? Is it easily accessible? Is there a backup plan in case of? That's what we're talking about here with, especially when you're using electronic, when it's like a mix of in-person and electronic, because you're using PowerPoints or you're using visuals, like slides and whatnot. But I think you can get really creative in the way that we do it in this course, because you are delivering speeches, recording yourself delivering the speeches, so you can really get creative on use of visual aid. Do you have to show every step of the process or how something is? Absolutely not. But do you have to show me some stuff? Absolutely, because that is a requirement for the second main speech, use of a visual aid. So with the video lesson in this, I really try to talk more on ways that it can be used in electronic mediated communication while you're recording. I use food as an example a lot, because that's just who I am as a person. But say you're doing your how-to speech on how to make something, cook something, bake something, put it together. You don't have to show me you don't have to visually show me every step, but perhaps you can do it in steps. You show what ingredients may be needed and what you're trying to accomplish, and then a finished product. And you can even show the process of either mixing it, or if you're decorating, or if you're building, or if you're really into party, you don't have to show every single step. I really want to reiterate that. But you can get super creative. So that's what week 7's lesson is over. And that's another reason why I open them up super early, is so you can really check out that module. Because like I said, at the end of week 8, so October 10th by 5 p.m., your second main speech is due. And that is an informative how-to speech. The details for that has a home. Go check it out if you haven't already. But all this was opened up during week 5, so it gave plenty of time to look over everything. And at this point, all grade books are updated. This includes your check-in discussion, your Cannon's Rhetoric Round 1, your first main speech, which was your introduction speech, and your song storytelling speech. The main speech 2 is due Friday, October 10th. The following week, which is October 13th to the 17th, which is 9, if you look at the calendar on Blackboard, that is ACTC's fall break. I will not be posting anything. We won't be chatting. We won't be, you won't hear from me that week. I mean, if you send me an email, I'll try to get back to you. But there won't be anything on Blackboard that week because it's ACTC's fall break. So, again, week 7, dates are September 29th through October 3rd. Happy October! We've made it into October. Yay, hooray. Lesson this week is presentational visual aids. Check it out. And then great examples if you're trying to figure out examples. Not news reporters. Sorry, that's a different. Think of cooking shows. Those are a wonderful visual aid example because they're telling you how to make something. Even the competition cooking shows, they're showing you how to make something. Tutorial videos on YouTube or social media. This is how I do my winged eyeliner. This is how to replace this. This is how to do this. This is and then also educational shows. I say educational shows because it dawned on me that if you think of shows maybe you watched growing up, but you still could be, vibing out with them. Bill Nye the Science Guy, Magic School Bus, Schoolhouse Rock, stuff like that tells you how something works or how to do something, but they usually do it in easier terminology. And look, a lot of those are cartoons, so they're done with fun animation sequences to catch your attention. And then also a song. So those are also wonderful examples of informative how-to, All that comes into mind when I'm thinking of stuff like that, like how something works, how a process is, evaporation. How does a flower grow? How does, electricity work? How does all that, all that's a process, and all that falls under this informative how-to. So, visual presentational aids. There's a lot of examples out in the world. With that being said, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I hope that you have an amazing day and a fabulous week. And to any of my dual credit students that are on fall break this week, I hope you have a calm, chill, relaxing few days off. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.